Sup guys, it's your boy Justin here with another Fantasy Month review. Today we're reviewing The Savage Sword of Conan the Barbarian, issue 9, which came out in 1975. I paid like almost $5 for this magazine, which is not in the best condition, but holy crap, do I love these old like 70s magazines, man. Well, look at that beautiful Boris Vallejo cover. By the way, which these characters were featured in the first Conan the Barbarian magazine I reviewed, which I forget which issue that was, but you can find it on my channel. So yeah, this was actually a Marvel Comics magazine, but it had to be printed in it had to be printed by Curtis because for legal reasons, you couldn't have like comic books that had like ultra violence or sexuality or nudity because of the Comic Code of 40, which ended sometime in the 80s. That's when the Alan Moore and the Frank Miller types showed up. So they got away with that by printing it in magazine format, like I said. So yeah, this book only contains like two comic book stories. You got the first one, which is Curse of the Cat Goddess by Roy Thomas, who, fun fact, wrote the Fire and Ice movie. Though he had a co-writer, I forget who that was. Art by Pablo Marcos. You got an article by Robert Yelpo called Things from Beyond, which is about like the demons and gods of the Robert E. Howard Conan the Barbarian universe, which is he's like the godfather of grim dark, which I didn't know that. You have the Hyborian Age, which is a map. You have the Fabian portfolio of Conan, who's like an artist called Steve Fabian, which is so. I'll show you some of the artwork there. And you have When a Tiger Returns to Atlantis, which is a King Call story by Doug Moench, who's one of my favorite Batman writers, and art by Sonny Trinidad. And you have an article called The Miscast Barbarian, which is kind of like talks about how all the similarities between King Call and Conan the Barbarian, which I remembered watching the Call of the Barbarian or movie. I forget what it was called, but it was basically Conan the Barbarian with what's his name? Oh my God, the Kevin Sorbo from Hercules. And I remember watching that movie back in the day when I was a kid. I'm like, wow, this character is just such a Conan the Barbarian ripoff. I thought he was Conan the Barbarian. Turns out they were both. Call was created by Robert E. Howard. And a lot of the problems I had with that movie, with that character, with the movie, apparently like a lot of people did, because apparently the characters are really alike, even though there are subtle differences. But they have a lot of similarities, which we'll talk about that. So yeah, this first story is called Curse of the Cat Goddess, which is about Conan Barbarian returning to this desert kingdom where he had a gang of outlaws, and he comes back to lead them again, only to find that they were basically the guy he left in charge of leading them, it was kind of a screw up, and he shows up. They rob some old guy, he dies, and they get a hold of this cat goddess statue, which starts to corrupt Conan the Barbarian, makes him more savage, makes him like take like dumb risks, and his gang of outlaws are like, this guy's going to get us all killed. Casualties are mounting, only for the cat goddess statue to possess Faisal, the lieutenant, and like Faisal takes over and betrays Conan Barbarian, only for Faisal to lead the gang to his death and come back to kill Conan the Barbarian. But Conan the Barbarian defeats him, gets free. And Conan the Barbarian realizes what the cat goddess statues is and throws in the desert, where it's, where it'll stay for eternity. Which this reminded me of a story from like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, kind of. Didn't they find a statue kind of like that in an episode? I can't remember. But it's when they were in Egypt. So here's you have the article, and there's a cool cover there. Yeah, this cover is pretty, you know. And they talk about how, like, you know, how, like, Howard was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. Sorry, Robert E. Howard was, you know, inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. What's those H.P. stand for again? I can't remember. Is his name also Howard? But yeah, so, yeah. There are some illustrations, but not really. Here's a very detailed map of the Conan Barbarian's like world, which is based off ancient civilizations that supposedly existed. Yeah, that's the thing about Conan the Barbarian. It's technically, we call it fantasy, but it's not really fantasy. But we call it fantasy. So here's the Fabian portfolio, where you see examples of his artwork, where that's a naked chick there, but you can't really see her boobs because of the shading. Thank God. Hopefully that doesn't count as nudity. Be a lot of cool artwork there. So here's the King Call story, where it starts off with King Call and his minstrel companion, which his minstrel companion has a dumb name, Redondo. Apparently Call is from Atlantis, and he was king of this kingdom called Valusia, only for it to get stolen by him from Tulsa Doom, which I thought he was a Conan the Barbarian villain. I have no idea, man. He was the villain in the first movie, played by Star Wars actor. The guy's name escapes me. Oh my God, Brain damage, I guess. Flip. What was the guy's name? Not Leonard Nimoy. Oh my God, you guys know who I'm talking about. He was also in Doctor Strangelove, believe it or not. I couldn't believe it when I saw him. I'm like, holy crap, he's in this movie? I had no idea. So yeah, basically King Call lost his kingdom and returns back to Atlantis, only to find there's a magical kingdom there, and like, you know, Atlantis was home to various barbarian tribes. So he goes there, gets attacked by these ape men, these beast men, only to get captured and taken to the castle, where he finds out that his friend is the king, but he's not really the king. It's like a puppet. He's a puppet monarch, and it's really this evil wizard who rules everything. And the evil wizard pretended to be a pirate in the dungeon to learn about Call and his motives there. And the evil wizard wants to kill Call. And at the same time, Call is tricked by the assistant to the wizard, to where he almost gets killed in a trap. But she tells him, hey, I was not luring you to a trap. I was actually there to warn you that there's going to be an attempt on your life at a parade. The guy's going to use magic to kill you. So King Call decides to make it look like that the magical creature that the wizard conjures up, which is this demon gargoyle thing, which very much reminded me of the second Conan Barbarian movie, Conan Destroyer, where a statue comes to life to kill our heroes. That basically happens here. But yeah, King Call makes it look like that the demon is actually trying to kill his friend, and he goes to defend it and destroys the creature with the help of his friends and the sorceress, and gets promoted by his friend to be the second lieutenant of the army, or not second, like basically the XO of the army. So yeah, the rest of the book is basically, you get a little article here where they kind of shit on King Call. and talk about how tragic Robert E. Howard's life was. Like he basically died at 30, which, oh man. And yeah, so I read that article, but I didn't read the newsletter stuff. And there's the preview for Star-Lord, which I need to review that omnibus. But yeah, there's like fan letter page or whatever. I don't know. I didn't care about that. So what did I think about this? Overall, it's a little light on Conan the Barbarian content, but I did enjoy the King Call story. Though there are a lot of similarities between Conan the Barbarian and King Call, especially since both King Call and Conan Barbarian are both smarter than they look, and they both don't trust women too much. Which yeah. But that's kind of where the similarities end. Like where like King Call, yeah, he's a barbarian, but he comes off more sophisticated, and he comes off kind of like smarter than Conan. Though Conan's not dumb if you read the stories, but I don't know. I think Conan like Call is a more sophisticated barbarian, where like Conan's more the like the head-on approach kind of guy. So I like both characters, but yeah. So I would give this a solid 7. If you can get it for cheap, I would recommend it. But if you can't get it for cheap, I wouldn't pay more than like $10 for this, honestly. Which $10, it's worth it. But yeah, if you can't get it for $10, I would not pay more than $10. But yeah, that's it for this review, guys. Our next Fantasy Month review, which I already recorded, is the Sleeping. Oops, crap. Oh my god! The book knocked over the phone. Then my next Fantasy Month review is The Sleeping Dragon by Joel Rosenberg, which I read this last week while I was waiting for the results of the book review poll. So I already read this. The review will be out Tuesday. Okay, and then the review after that, I have no idea. I might review Daikatana. I might review the Dragonlance story. I might review something else. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. Peace.